une œuvre attribuée à l'artiste britannique Banksy, volée dans la nuit de samedi à dimanche à Paris.
Exclusive video of guys who decided to scale a building, cut down the latest Banksy work, and...
Banksy, à l'heure actuelle, il fait partie des 10 artistes les plus cotés sur le marché de l'art contemporain. La moindre œuvre de Banksy est détachée d'un mur et directement quelqu'un va la vendre aux enchères.
Alors je pense qu'actuellement, ses œuvres sont plus traquées que lui.
C'est donc la porte entière qui a été arrachée par les cambrioleurs. Réalisée au pochoir et à la peinture blanche, une œuvre dessinée sur une porte arrière du Bataclan, en hommage aux victimes du 13 novembre 2015, tuées dans la salle de concert par un commando de terroristes.
Having a Banksy that's taken off a wall and being sold, I just think is morally and ethically really wrong.
For a decade, I was making money out of Banksy street works, and I saw absolutely nothing wrong with what I was doing. I recall sitting in my delicatessen down in Kent, and I got a call from a colleague saying, "Have you seen the new Banksy?" And I was like, "Really? Another Banksy?" And by this point, I was sort of not famous for it, but I was notorious for the guy who goes and takes Banksys away and upsets everyone. I said, "Send me a picture." And he sent me a picture of this really ugly mural on a wall. But I saw its potential to make considerable money.
Art buff is an elderly lady. She's got one of those headsets on that you go to a gallery and somebody's telling you what the artwork means. And in the front there is a plinth, and the plinth is empty.
My intention was to make as much money as I possibly could. I had good contacts at Miami Art Fair. I'd been there a number of times. I had the credentials necessary. And I agreed that we would try and attempt to remove the piece with a team of guys who can pretty much move anything on the planet.
I should have perhaps realized what they were going to do, because they come in and start covering the area with scaffolds and chopping the Banksy out of the wall.
We started about 8 o'clock in the morning. As the noise echoed across Folkestone, suddenly more and more people started appearing, and it was clear that they were carrying protest placards. They were venomously against what was going on.
It felt like we were being robbed of Folkestone's Banksy. You know, we believed it belonged to our town. You know, we wanted to benefit from it and to see it every day. We could be quite smug. We've got a Banksy. Have you got a Banksy? It was a bit like that.
I mean, these were relatively middle-class, working-class, small-town folk who suddenly turned into these sort of harridans and monsters screaming abuse at us and my construction guys. I mean, it wasn't just verbal abuse, it was physical abuse.
It was just, no, why are you taking it? How can it be taken away? And I think the fact that everyone felt it was being taken away for money was even more frustrating.
Everybody run up there, they're trying to stop it happening. And then Robin Barton, bank robber, as he's known, the gallerist, he was there walking around winding everybody up and telling them that he had total rights to take it. Because the more upset you are, the more noise there is. The more noise there is, the more media there is. The more media there is, the more value there is.
It was a long, long day. I mean, it was 14 hours of drilling and cutting. We finally pulled the last piece of the wall out around about sunset, and off it flew out to Miami. By putting it in Miami, the contrast would be so great from where it originally came from. A broken down third world town of Folkestone, and then you've got the glitz and glamour of Miami, and having all the Americans staring at it was quite appealing to me. As you came into Art Miami, there it was, boom, right in the middle, with a price tag of $500,000 on it.
There's, of course, a certain irony about selling an artwork for a huge amount of money to a collector, about the vacuousness of the collecting of artwork and how value is put on art and so on. But no, it was painted to go on that wall. It was painted to be in an urban setting, and we'd actively got involved in trying to bring it back.
Because it's an illegal act and put out there in the street, covertly, without permissions, there is no copyright issue whatsoever. The person who owns that wall, that door, that window, that floor, is the owner of that artwork. And it gives me the right, on behalf of those freeholders, to sell the works.
So it's legal?
It's completely legal as long as, and this is the critical mass, as long as the freeholder can prove without question that they are the freeholder.
But that doesn't tell you who emotionally owns it. It's emotionally owned by the people of the town going, this is Folkestone's Banksy. I'm from Folkestone. It's my Banksy.
Whilst I was sunning myself in Miami and drinking I know not what, I got a lawyer's letter saying, we have discovered there is a greater freeholder and that the Godden family were indeed not the freeholders of the building. At this point, it was game over. I was forced to dip my hands in my pocket and pay for it to be returned to Folkestone.
It's good that we've got one. It's good that we've kept it. No one can touch it now. It's our Banksy, owned by Folkestone. Hands off.
So you can see that the whole piece looks amazing, but if you get slightly close up, you can see there's this chop here. The paint is cracked, and it's where the saw came and just cut this out of the wall. And that's, you know, the thing about Banksy is the story is as much of the artwork. It's never just the painting, it's what happens afterwards, how people talk about it, people demonstrating on the streets, people saying, that's ours and you can't take it. So I don't mind these cuts because I think people will be able to understand the story better with these little marks that are going through it.
Don't mess with Folkestone, that's the moral of the story, because we love art in this community.
I don't feel guilty about anything I did in Folkestone. And whereas Banksy had clearly set his stall up as being the Robin Hood of the art world, I suddenly realised there I was, the Sheriff of Nottingham. I was the bad guy, he was the good guy. Now, I watch movies. Who do I want to be? The bad guy.
Banksy, I suppose, is up here, just looking down at this little thing he made. It's just a massive old circus.